All right. So, hello and welcome back to the next lecture in the ongoing lecture series of uh, color reproduction in pre-press repro techniques. So, till the last lecture, we had discussed about the different color mixing models, namely the additive color mixing model and the subtractive color mixing model, if you remember. And in the end of the last lecture, I had also shown you a particular you can say a tool using which we are able to remember which color is having complementary relationship to which other color. Okay, so this was basically known as the Maxwell's color triangle, where at the apices of the triangle we had the additive primary colors. Why additive primary? Because they are the core constituents of the electromagnetic or the visual spectrum. And additive, why? Because once we mix or add them with each other, the secondary color is produced. Okay, and in the side bisectors of this equilateral triangle we had the subtractive primary colors. Why primary? Because for all process printing we use these colors as these inks as the core colors. And why subtractive? Because in order to visualize them we need to subtract one third part of the or one part of the visual spectrum from the total visual spectrum. So in order to reproduce or visualize, not reproduce but visualize cyan, we have to subtract red component of the visual spectrum from the entire visual spectrum in order to receive blue and green in equal proportions, such that we understand that it is cyan color. All right, so this is, and similarly the others follow. And when additive colors or additive lights are mixed or added together, for example if blue and green is added together, that can also be derived from this, but what the resultant color of the light can also be derived from this particular triangle. So if blue and green are mixed, then we get cyan light. Okay, cyan light, right? Okay, so this was the Maxwell's color triangle. This is not to be confused or correlated in any way with the artist's color wheel. The artist's color wheel is a completely different thing that we will be talking about in our print design class in the next upcoming semester. So that is basically the arrangement. It's basically one form of color order system, as you can say. So like very much like the Munsell system, which is basically arrangement of colors based on some of their intrinsic properties. So mainly hue, saturation and lightness. So this is not to be confused with the artist's color wheel. Artist's color wheel is meant for a completely different purpose, but Maxwell's color triangle is a tool in order to understand the relationship or derive the interrelationship between the additive and subtractive primary colors. All right, so this was what we had discussed in the previous class, in the previous lecture. And in the next lecture we will be talking about we will be starting about our discussion of color separation. Okay, so this picture you have already seen in the in the last lecture of the halftone unit, halftone reproduction unit. I had already shown you this particular picture, if you remember. What is this? What is the schematic all about? This schematic is basically telling us that how halftone reproduction is achieved. So this is your continuous tone. On the extreme left you have got this continuous tone original, which is to be reproduced in a transparency. But since it has to be, our aim is to print the print the image on a piece of paper or any other substrate for that matter. That is why we need to disk, and most importantly it is not a relief or recess process. Since offset is a planographic process, we need to keep the image and non-image area on the same plane, but we need some mechanism in which we can distinguish between the image and non-image areas. That means their dot areas are known as the image areas and no dot areas are known as non-image areas, so that ink is applied only to the image areas that halftone dots receive ink, and the rest of the areas does not receive ink, uh, remaining on the being in the same plane albeit. And secondly, we should also incorporate some form of tonal gradation Why tonal gradation? Because our continuous tone original has got this tonal gradation. So after printing also we need to reproduce the same tonal gradation in the substrate. So how can this be achieved? This can be achieved by either in two ways, either by increasing the size of the dot. That means when you increase the size of the dot in the shadow areas, then that area will receive greater quantity of ink. Therefore, it will appear to have greater optical density. Therefore, it is represented as shadow. And in the highlight area, the size of the dots are very small, so it will receive lower quantity of ink. That means its optical density will be less, and hence it is perceived as the highlight area. This is one technique whereby we can change the size of the dot. What is the unit of such half-tone screens? LPI. That means the lines, number of dots, number of lines per unit inch is fixed, right? That is why the half-tone screens are having a unit of amplitude modulator half-tone screens are having a unit of LPI. But in case of your another technique, which is the frequency modulated screen, which is a digital technique, not a conventional technique. So in those digital techniques, what we can change the number of dots, keeping the size of the dot same, right? Keeping the size of the dot same, we can change the number of dots. So that means in shadow areas we incorporate or we represent shadow areas with greater number of dots, right? So that area will receive greater quantity of ink, overall greater quantity of ink, hence the optical density will be increased, hence it will be perceived by us as if it is a shadow area. But in case of highlight area, the lower number of dots are there, it will receive less quantity of ink and it will be perceived by us as the highlight area. Okay, optical density will be less and perceived by the as the highlight area. Okay, so this is all well and good. Now how to reproduce this? We need a half toning screen, right? It may be a contact screen or a non-contact screen, like a cross-line screen. We just place the screen in front of the transparency on which we want to reproduce. So light, which is if your original is a reflective copy, then we allow light to strike to it, and some amount of light is getting reflected off. It enters the camera apparatus optical system and hits the half-tone screen, finally reaching into the transparency. The moment it is reaching the half-tone screen, some amount of light is blocked and some amount is allowed to pass. So it will appear, the image that we will get in the transparency will also appear to have that vignette pattern. You already know the chessboard or vignette pattern that I have talked about in the previous classes also, in the half-tone production class. So the entire image is going to get segregated, it's going to get discretized into small components, which are basically known as the half-tone dots. Okay, so you get a negative first in the process camera. You expose it through a contact printer, top-down printer, and then you get a positive out of it. That's a simple process. Simpler process, not a simple but simpler process. So this is what half-tone reproduction is. Okay, but as I told you in the earlier class also, when we were originally discussing this topic, this is fine that we are using grayscale original, where we use only single ink. We can print this image using a single ink, maybe black ink, maybe magenta ink, whatever ink of your choice, but still we will get the output in a single ink only, right? But what that we can do, because the original itself is in grayscale, right? But what if the original is in color? The original, continuous tone original itself has got colors. Then what to do? Then what to do? Okay, see, I have already told you till now that what we have established, that for multicolor printing process, we need a minimum of 3 inks, right? Why? Because in order to see, in the earlier days, what used to happen, the original was used to be basically your photographs. Now photographs, how they were developed, they had some dyes, right? 3 types of dyes, cyan, magenta, yellow dyes, which were present in the photographic paper. When they are developed and when they are exposed to the negative, depending on the light that is entering into the photographic paper, those dyes used to start developing, and after development process was over, the dyes would have changed its color. Okay, it would have undergone some light reaction and it would have changed the color. Like, it's similar to your silver halide photographic films. What happens there in silver halide photographic films? When some amount of light is made incident on the film, then the areas which are receiving light, in those areas latent image will start to be start to form, right? What is latent image? It is where the sensitivity spec is basically, right, where the light reaction has started. That means after development, those areas, in those areas only, silver halide will get reduced to metallic silver. Similarly, here also in photographic paper, it's a little bit difficult. I mean, complex chemical reaction. It consists of various dyes, cyan, magenta, yellow dyes. So these dyes, upon receiving light, they start to undergo some chemical reaction, and upon development of such photographic papers, those dyes have already changed the colors. So depending upon the light, the wavelength of the light, some these dyes are basically sensitive to the different wavelengths of light. So depending upon the wavelength of light, if it is receiving low wavelength light, then blue, I mean cyan dyes will start to get developed there over there. Okay, so these are the ways in which we used to obtain the color photograph paper. So color photography is not our topic, so just to give you a very brief understanding of what color photography was, it's actually a very very big and important topic. I think Dr. Tulika Dash, whose book is your textbook in Material Science 1 and Material Science 2 also, there you will not find color photography, only photographic development. She also has written another book which is on photographic development, which is purely on photography and all such things. So I would ask you, if you are really interested in such things, then you could definitely go through that book, and it's a very interesting read, of course. So having said that, now your original has got three colors, right? That is cyan. It contains colors which are reproduced using cyan dye, magenta dye, and yellow dye. So definitely, in order to reproduce these colors on a piece of paper or on any other piece of substrate using a printing method, definitely there also you will need three separate inks, a minimum of three separate inks. That is why we use cyan, magenta, and yellow inks as the primary inks for the any process printing. Okay, this is, I mean, we can use and we do use inks which are apart from cyan, magenta, yellow, and black inks in printing, but these situations are different. For normal any type of printing, for any process printing for that matter, we use basically a minimum of three. Actually we use four, but why four, that we'll be discussing later on. So we use a minimum of three subtractive inks, so that the colors which are there in the photograph, in the original photograph or continuous tone photograph, they can be reproduced. So I think nowadays we do not use original as continuous tone photographs. It's all digitally, but still these inks remain in use. Till today we use these inks as the fundamental type of inks or the fundamental colorants for any printing standard process printing process or operation actually. Okay, so now the question is how to reproduce. So when I am saying that you need a minimum of three and actually four inks for any multicolor work, that means how many printing units do you need in that? Let us consider offset printing. So if I am saying that you need a minimum of three inks in order to reproduce the colors, or four inks in order to reproduce the colors in the original, then how many printing units do you need? You have seen our PO25 in our lab, that is a single color unit. That means there is only a single printing couple. Okay, you wound the plate in the plate cylinder of the single printing couple, and then you add the ink into the ink duct and you start printing. You will get a single color. For adding another color, you have to rub everything off. You have to clean the inking rollers, you have to clean the blanket, you have to clean the molten covers of the the dampening rollers and all that. Then add another plate to the plate cylinder and add a different ink onto the plate cylinder, and then pass the same the first printed sheet. So first, let us say you printed the first ink with first sheet with basically your black. Then in the second pass, basically you clean the machine and add magenta ink, for example. You add magenta ink, for example, into the into your this thing into the machine, and you allow the sheet to pass through the machine. You basically print the already printed sheet that was printed using black in the first scenario or in the first case, then you print on the same sheet with magenta ink. So that means what? If you do not have multiple units in the printing machine, in the offset printing machine or any printing machine, then in order to reproduce multicolor work, it's a very hassle. Why? Because you have to print one sheet with a single color, and then you have to clean the entire machine and then pass the same sheet and then add another ink new plate to the machine and then pass the already printed sheet. So like this you have to go on doing. So this is never done. For any multicolor printing process, we normally use a printing machine having a minimum of 4 printing couples. That means minimum of 4 printing stations in the machine. So first the sheets are fed into the machine through the your feeding section. Then it passes through the first plate or comes in contact with the first printing couple, not the plate, sorry, first blanket. That is the first printing unit, which has got the one type of ink. Next, the same sheet of paper is moved on to the next printing couple, where it comes into the where it is printed using the second ink. Then it is again passed on to the next printing couple, where it is printed using the third ink. Then it is again passed into the printer, which is printed using the same printing unit, fourth printing unit, where it is printed using the fourth type of ink. And finally, it is made to pass into the delivery section, where you will get the or you will receive the finally printed sheet of paper printed using 4 colors. So this is how printing, normally multicolor printing, is basically done. So what I will do is I will just show you a small video from various sources where multicolor printing is actually done. So as I was saying, now here I will show you basically the very fundamental method using which multicolor offset printing is done, so that you get a fair bit of idea. Basically, this is you can check this out. This video is given by this Express Cards, and the title of the video is How Offset Printing Works. It's a very nice and interactive form of animated video which they have posted, and I think it's a very useful video. So let us take a look at the process of multicolor offset printing. There are other videos also, but this is a very short and nice way of understanding the process. So just to begin with, as you can see, this is your original color which you intend to print using your multicolor offset printing machine. Okay, so your printing machine has got 4 printing couples. Now in order to print this, what do you need to do? You need 4 inks, right? 4 inks meaning cyan, magenta, yellow and black. Now in order to print with each of the colors, each of the printing units, since you are printing each of the pass of the paper using different types of ink, so your plate for each printing couple should contain different information, meaning that some printing the first, that means the black printing unit or the black printing plate, will contain information of only the black areas in the original image. That means maybe these areas, this black hat, or some of the cyan areas also where they may be black mixed. Next, the magenta area, the magenta plate will which will utilize the magenta ink to print on the piece of paper. Next, the magenta or the cyan ink will actually contain the dots in the of the original where there is cyan in the original. That means it will be used to print these particular areas. Similarly for magenta and yellow. Okay, so that means you need a total of 4 printing masters, 4 printing plates basically. Why 4 printing plates? Because you are printing with a maximum of 4 plates or 4 inks. So all inks will not fall in the same place. If all ink is falling onto the same place, then the entire piece of paper or after the print, everything will be dark. You cannot understand any tonal gradation, any image, any text, nothing. So specific inks are falling into specific areas. Why? Because if you consider our original continuous tone photograph, which contained which contained dyes, cyan, magenta and yellow dyes, so we need that information basically. Where in the photograph there is cyan information, that we need to segregate, that we need to identify, and we need to reproduce on the cyan plate those areas as halftone dots. Similarly, we need to identify or segregate the areas in the original and prepare a transparency first from the original, which will be a record of the magenta areas, right? So that when we prepare a plate from the transparency, then that plate will contain the information only about the magenta areas in the form of halftone dots. Similarly, we need to segregate the yellow areas in the original, continuous tone original, so that we get the information of the yellow areas of the original into the transparency, so that when we transfer the transparency image to the printing plate, then the plate will contain the areas which are yellow in the original in the form of halftone dots, so that when you apply, you wound around the plate of the cyan separation. So each of this is basically known as a separation. Why separation? Because each of the printing master or each of the transparency is containing areas which of a specific color. So the yellow plate will consist or the record of the yellow areas in the original. Okay, so each of these is basically called as the separation. Now when we wound around the let us say cyan plate in the cyan printing couple, then we put the cyan ink into the ink duct, and the ink is finally, and the plate is inked, which finally transfers the image onto the blanket and then consequently onto the paper. So the paper will now contain dots of yellow color, of in which area, in those areas which are actually yellow in nature in the original. Okay, similarly for cyan ink also, we apply the cyan plate, wound around the cyan plate around the plate cylinder of the machine, and we ink it using cyan ink, and finally that ink is transferred onto the blanket and onto the paper consequently. So now the paper contains the cyan areas in the form of halftone dots with what? Cyan ink. So this is how multicolor printing is basically done. Now you see, this is the color original. Now this color original contains what? 4 areas, right? One is the your magenta area, next is the cyan area, next is the yellow area, next is the black area basically. Okay, so that means we need a minimum of 4 image carriers. We need a minimum of 4 plates to print this. So if we need a minimum of 4 plates to print it, how many minimum inks is required? 4 inks, that is cyan, magenta, yellow and black. These many 4 inks are basically required. So we need to separate from the original in some mechanism. Using that mechanism I am going to teach you. From the original, through some mechanism, we need to segregate the magenta area of the original cyan into one film or one plate. Then we need to segregate the cyan area of the original into one film or one plate. We need to segregate the yellow area of the original into one film or one plate, and finally the black area of the original into one plate or one film, so that each of the film or each of the plate is a record, is a unique record of separate things meaning each of the plate or film is a record of magenta area or cyan area or yellow area or black area of the original. So this is what the entire process of multicolor printing is achieved through. So we need to understand, before going into how to separate, we need to understand the process of printing. Only then we will be able to understand why separation is actually required. So I hope why separation is required is understood by you. So next, so we have the 4 different image carriers, right? So ignore this. This is one small, they have used an animation technique to explain how imaging is done. So this is your magenta separation. We will obtain first a record of the magenta areas onto the transparency, and then from that transparency, which contains the record of the magenta areas of the original in the form of halftone dots, we will use that separation and place it in the printing down frame. I think you have all used the printing down frame during your plate preparation class. You have seen the printing down frame. What we do, you place the coated plate in the bottom, and you place the negative or positive, whatever you are using, on top of it. You illuminate it from top, and finally you get the image etched onto the plate after development. Okay, so that process is basically told over there. So from each transparency, why? Because each transparency is a record of the unique area, of a unique color in the from the original. So one transparency will be record of the magenta area, another will be record of the cyan area, another will be record of the yellow area, another will be record of the black area. Okay, so Can you understand something? Do you have any question regarding this? See, I told you the original continuous to photographic original contained three dyes: cyan, magenta, and yellow. Where does black come from? So the original did not have black dye. It How was black prepared in, or how did we perceive black? Because when three colors, that means cyan, magenta, and yellow, all these three colors combined together, then we are not able to see the black color. I think I missed out this black part. I told you about when all three additive colors are mixed together with each other, we get white light. But when all these three colors are, or inks are mixed together in equal proportion, then we see black. So that I will talk about in a little bit. So ultimately, you see, the original continuous tone photograph does not contain any black area. But what does it contain? It contains areas where all these three dyes have combined together to give us an appearance of black, because cyan, magenta, yellow when mixed together in equal proportion should give ideal black. It does not give, but should give ideal black. So that is why we need some, there are some areas like that also, that means where all three dyes have combined, and that is giving black appearance. So for this reason and for another reason, we have to use the fourth plate or the fourth printer, which is the black printer in printing process. There is another explanation why this process is black is required, but I will come to it later on. So for each of the imaging, for each of the from each of the transparency, we get each of the plate, and from each of the plate we get one printed sheet. See, so this is basically how this is your plate, this is your blanket. So you apply the cyan plate, wound the cyan plate around the cyan printing unit plate cylinder, and from that you ink, you water it, you ink it, and finally, you water it, you ink it, and finally what happens is you get the final colored image onto the blanket and finally onto the piece of paper. So just take a look. This is the dampening rollers, this is the inking rollers. So this is the feeding section of the press. So you feed the paper into the printing machine. This is the printing machine. So this is the first printing unit, which is printing using the magenta ink. Okay, so you have the magenta plate which is wound around the plate cylinder, which is transferring the magenta areas into the blanket cylinder. This is the impression roller, and finally between the nib pressure of these two rollers, the paper is passing, and what is happening, the image is from the blanket cylinder is getting transferred into the paper. Okay, so this is for a single unit machine like the PO25 that we have. Okay, now let us take a look at multicolor printing. Yes, so this is basically your multicolor process. So this is your feeding section, this is your delivery section. So the first unit contains, let us say, is the printing using your cyan ink. So that will basically contain, this is the plate cylinder, so this will contain the cyan plate. So what happens, it will then transfer the image onto the blanket and finally onto the paper. So the first down ink here is basically the cyan ink, where the paper is printed using the cyan ink. Then the same paper is transported into the next printing couple, where it will be printed with the magenta ink. So not all the same areas will be printed with the cyan and magenta ink, otherwise all the areas will have the same appearance. So the plate is basically a record of the cyan area in the original, or the magenta area in the original, or yellow area in the original, or black area in the original. So like this, the same paper will be passing through the four printing couples, and when there will be dots which will be juxtaposed on each other, and like this you will get, finally the paper will pass through all these units and finally it will get delivered. So this is how modern multicolor printing is basically achieved. So here you see there is this something like snowflakes are dropping on top of sheets. Any idea what this might be? This is anti-set of powder, so that the sheets do not get stuck to each other, because these are all freshly printed sheets using high speed machines. So what happens is the ink which is still not dried up may get stuck onto the backside of the succeeding sheet. So this is a problem which is going to set off. So in order to avoid this, we use some anti-set of powder, basically starch type products, so that it may get fused with the ink and allow it to not transfer onto the backside of the succeeding sheet. This we'll be talking about in machine classes and all. So this is how your overall multicolor printing is basically done. I hope this area is clear. Now let us return to our original topic. So as I was saying, that you need different types of or different image carriers or different films, where each film will be a record, unique record of the different areas or different colors that is present in the continuous tone original. That is why the first thing that you need to do, what is, you need to segregate the films or transparencies on the basis of the areas they record. So you need a transparency which will be record of the cyan areas in the original in the form of halftone dots. You need another transparency which is a record of the magenta areas in the original. You need another transparency which is a record of the yellow areas in the original, and another transparency which is a record of the black area in the original. So regarding black, there is a there is a little bit of difficulty. So that is why I am not really going into the black area, because we will be dealing with black once we understand why black is required in the first place. But since now tell me one thing before going any further. Just tell me one thing, that consider the substrate over here. Okay, now I explained single color subtractive reflectance and two color subtractive reflectance in the last lecture. But what about three colors? That means if all the three colors together are printed, are printed on top of each other, let it be. So like this. So pardon my painting, I am not a good painter. So okay, so let us say you have got three colors, that is C, M and Y. All these inks have been printed on top of each other. What will be the resultant? Why combination? Why did I say earlier that the combination of cyan, magenta and yellow will basically give you black color? The reason for that is this: if you analyze this particular thing, here you see that this is the three colors. So as I was saying, that when you print all these three colors, that is cyan, magenta and yellow inks on top of each other, and so ultimately what is the color that you would get? So let us analyze it. So you have this white light basically. So I am drawing using a single ink, so don't mind, just I'll mention it and we'll label it. So all the white light is made incident on top of the inks, right? That contains blue light, green light and red light. So yellow is going to absorb blue light, right? So remaining is green and red light, which is moving on to the magenta and cyan layers. Now magenta is going to absorb green light, yes, because it's principal density complementary. Now remaining is red, so red will move on to the cyan layer. So cyan ink is going to cancel out, or absorb red ink, red light. That means, so ultimately you have no incoming, no outgoing lights coming out from the printed sheet over here. That means this appearance of this ink patch will be black in nature. Why black? Because in absence of any light, we actually see this as black in nature, isn't it? So that is why we actually need one of the reasons. This is basically one of the reasons why we need a fourth printer, or which is basically known as the black printer. All right, I hope this much is basically clear to you, so that we can actually start our following discussion, which will be basically on the different types of color separation methods, how colors are basically separated. So as I said, that each of the transparency is basically one record of each color in the original. So one transparency is record of cyan area, another transparency is record of magenta area, another transparency is record of yellow area, and so on and so forth, like that. Okay, so this is how we are basically trying to what you can say, basically trying to separate the all the colors and prepare unique transparency which will be a record of will be a record of cyan area, another will be a record of magenta area, another will be a record of yellow area, ultimately using which we can actually go for multicolor printing.